Not only have we just finished a debacle over this Remembrance Weekend, what a day in politics. They say a week is a long time in politics. Try the Tory party. 24 hours, if you can survive that long. Hello, yeah, wrong and Richboy Sunk putting the con in Conservatives. I mean, this is politics eating itself. So Richboy has had a bit of a shuffle. 350 MPs, and he couldn't find anyone good enough to take up Foreign Secretary. So he's made, call me Dave. Now, I can't use sweary Mary words, but can you remember what he did with that pig? Quite. Foxtrot Oscar, Dave. He's a pig, Foxtrot. If you catch me drift. You don't remember it? Look at Black Mirror. Black Mirror. Black Mirror had this situation where a major politician in the United Kingdom was caught on video having his wicked way with a pig. And then everybody started laughing because everybody knew about David Cameron wanting to be part of the gang, and it meant doing nefarious things with a pig. It all came out, and didn't somebody write an autobiography? So now we've got a pig shagger as Foreign Secretary. How does that work? And now, not only did he not, this is Richboy Sunk, by the way, not only could he not find anyone of a sufficient standard out of 350 Tory MPs, he had to go and organise David Cameron becoming a life peer. Lord David Cameron of where? Well, wherever his pig farm is. So, Lord David Cameron, and it was the only way that they could bring him back into government. That's the only way he could become a minister again, by becoming a life peer. Then he's appointed Foreign Secretary, and he's got one job, to get us back into Europe. Now, Tony Blair was only made Prime Minister and leader of the Labour Party because only he had one job, to get us firmly entrenched in Europe. And now the man that gave you the vote to say, do you want to stay or do you want to go? As the Clash once said, should I stay or should I go? David Cameron lost the vote. The people spoke. So you know what's going to happen now? Yeah, we'll go back into Europe. It's Brexit, Jim, but not as we know it. And that is a message I've been telling you since this channel was established. It's Brexit, Jim, but not as we know it. So what he'll do is he'll give you a vote. And if you vote the wrong way, he'll give you another vote, until you vote the way that they want you to vote, and then they'll say, no more votes. Look at the Irish. The Irish voted to leave the European Union, and they went, no, you got that wrong. Keep voting. And then they voted to go back into Europe for all of its money. And then Europe didn't give them any more money and told them there's no more votes. So do you think these people are playing a straight bat? Don't be silly, to use cricketing parlance. Don't be silly. It's like Bobby Ewing in Dallas. The last 8 years didn't exist. Dave's been for a shower. He's come back. And the last 8 years, they've just didn't exist. It was all a figment of your imagination. What do you mean? Boris who? We're still in Europe, for goodness sake. And they've done this on Remembrance Weekend, Armistice Day, Saturday. So if I was a cynical old tart, which I am, I would have thought that Suella Braverman's been set up. So, hang on, so you want rid of someone that could possibly usurp your leadership of the Cons, or Conservative Party. Cons is more applicable, I think. So what do? Hello, Tommy! Right, I need you and the lads to get down there and kick off. No, I'll just go fighting with the cops, man. I need some boys to go down there and kick off. Is that all right? We'll organise a taxi for you. It might have funny colours on it, but it'll be lovely. Man of the people. Cheers, Tommy. Who are you speaking to, Richie? Stephen. My mate Stephen. Yeah. Hyphenated. So, Armistice Day, some boys that had very evidently been on the sniff were down there kicking off with the cops, not with another faction or the counter demonstrators. Well, they weren't. They were just football hooligans, man. It was a footy day. Went down, had a bit of a skirmish. with the cups, laugh, 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 go for a few beers and off to the footy. Typical Saturday in certain parts of this separate aisle. And now, Suellen, off she goes. Now, was she sat or did she walk? Now, here's the rub that you might not be aware of. If letters go into the 1922 committee saying, oi, get rid of him, as they did with Thatcher, at what point do the letters go into the 1922 committee to say, oi, when the general election comes, the backbenchers are all going to be deselected because the voters are not going to vote for them? But there's Richboy. Now, is he a puppet of the WEF Puppet Master? Has the WEF Puppet Master, that's WEF by the way, has he said to Richboy, oi, we need you back in Europe. We need your money. Because the European Union's all corrupt. It's been evidently corrupt for decades. There's proof left, right and centre, if you need me to give it to you, that money's gone missing from the European Union. They don't know where to. Oh, let's have a guess. So, Richboy only has one job. That's to appoint someone who's going to get us back into Europe. Oh, who could that be? Hang on. Have we got a pig fucker? Did I say that out loud? Black Mirror. He was the chief Remainer and now he's foreign secretary. We know how this is going to play out. It's going to end in tears. Not mine. I've seen this coming for a long while. I told you. As soon as we had the vote, there was the BBC, didn't like that. Every chance the BBC had, they were like, oh, we should have stayed in Europe. We should have remained. It's like a record that's stuck. These idiots. There'll be parties in the BBC buildings now. We're back in Europe. Back in the game. Do you know what? It could only have been worse if they'd appointed Matt Hancock as Media and Arts Minister. I mean, let's face it, he's got plenty of experience in TV. I wonder what Nadine Dorries has got to say. Did she put this in her book, The Plot? Because everybody's saying, Nadine, that's a work of fiction. Yeah, I know. Because then they can't sue you if it's a work of fiction. So listen to what David Cameron had to say this morning. The former Prime Minister, just call me Dave, who's been given the role. I had a phone call from a mate of mine, Dean. He said, David Cameron's just gone into number 10. Do you know what that's about? And I sat back and went, no. Oh my word, they've given him a pit life peerage. Have they? Have you not got your telly on? Well, I'm out. I'm doing bits and pieces for the new Mrs. Allen. Well, when you get back, switch the telly on. Because Dave and his little oinky mates are back. They're back. He's foreign minister. And we're back in Europe. So Dave said he gladly accepted the offer from Rishi Sunak, despite having disagreed with some individual decisions by his successor. Oh my word. Anything for a bit of the greenbacks. Just called me Dave, said of his new boss. He's a strong and capable Prime Minister who is showing exemplary leadership at a difficult time. How brown is Cameron's tongue? And he said, I want to help him to deliver the security and prosperity our country needs and be, listen to this, be part of the strongest possible team that serves the United Kingdom. And that can be presented to the country when the general election is held. Au revoir, au revoir, au revoir. They're putting the con in Conservatives and they're gone. The Reform Party is 9 points ahead of these clowns in today's polling. The Reform Party. Nigel Farage, he's just had a G&T on his flight out. I'm a celebrity. No, I've given up the booze. Whilst my feet are touching the ground, I've given up the booze. Nige, garage. You had a G&T on the flight. I said while my feet were on the ground, I was on an aeroplane 35,000 feet above the ground. That don't count. How can you tell when a politician's lying? Their lips move. So, this is what happened to Dave Cameron. It became the X. He was an X. After 2016, he called the Brexit referendum because they thought we would never vote to leave. We would never. Did we? You sure? I thought we voted to stay in because that's the propaganda that I'm seeing and hearing in the mainstream media. Dave called a vote. The vote went awry. The Tories, the cons. Dave, mate, you need to step aside. You've completely destroyed it for us. Now, the shock announcement of Dave being made a Lord and then Foreign Secretary was after the sacking of Suella Braverman as Home Secretary. She provoked widespread condemnation after an article she wrote in the Times accusing the police of playing favourites with left-wing groups over right-wing and national activists. We know what went on. We know what went on with the Met Police. I mean, it's there for us to see. We know this country is lost. It's lost its soul, it's lost its heart, and it's lost its courage. The British Isles, we were always known as the best fighters in the world. The Special Forces, they only ever went for Northern boys and Scots. Don't matter whether you were from the Mersey or from the Tyne and Wear. Because they know that the Northern boys can take anything, not the shandy drinking Southerners. The Northern boys are the hard boys, and the Scots and the Celts are the hard fighters. I'll take the Welsh with that, because the Welsh are a bit tasty, and the Irish. So, where's our soul gone? Where's our heart gone? Where's our courage gone when we've got these propagandists putting the con in Conservatives absolutely shafting this country? Now, this is not a party political broadcast by any stretch of the imagination, because what they'll say to you is, you should have chosen the left, or you should have chosen the right, or you should have chosen this, or you should have chosen that. It's always, you should have chosen. Why don't we not choose? Why don't we stand true to who we are as Britons? Because it's got a great in front of them, and it's not a mistake. And yet they're cockeyed. These Richboy Sunk. And I saw Carnage going into a building next to Suella Braverman. She's taller than him. Next to Mark Rowley, the Met Commissioner, and he's taller than the previous two. I mean, even Carnage. He's not even kneecap height. They've all got small man syndrome. They're all like, I'm in charge. My hairy backside. Couldn't organise a pee up in a brewery. So, the last question I'm going to ask you in this particular piece this morning is, how many politicians are standing down at the next general election? It's not just one or two, let me tell you. So what is it? Globalist agenda? Anyone? The politicians know that politics is finished. It's global. It's not Westminster or Westminster, as it's becoming known in my house. We've now got politicians adhering to the politics of somebody else for a globalist agenda and not doing the best by the people of Great Britain. There's some idiot in Scotland giving an opinion on something he shouldn't have an opinion about. I think he's called the First Minister. So we have an unelected Prime Minister and an unelected Foreign Secretary in a party that's absolutely dragging this country ragged. Not only do we need a general election, we need it yesterday. We need this cockeyed idiot, Richboy Sunk, out, gone, and politics finished with. And don't give me proportional representation, because it's just another flavour of the same shit show. Sorry, it's another cheek of the same arsehole. Don't care. Politics is eating itself. Richboy Sunk putting the con in Conservatives. You know what my name is. Thanks for your likes, your subscriptions, and if I can say it, your indulgence. I'm off. I'm getting far too angry at the absolute And you think the rest of the world reveres us? Bollocks.